Today I'm gonna show you how to make chicken not boring, not dry, and not flavorless. A lot of the times people come to me and they say, how can I just make chicken better? And this video will show you how to do that. We're gonna talk about brining, seasoning, and versatile ways to serve your chicken that are not difficult, they're not time consuming, they incorporate things in your pantry, and basically, this video is just gonna make your life better and you're gonna have a great relationship with your chicken. In particular, we're talking about chicken breasts today. I'm talking about these because I feel like they're most often messed up, meaning under-seasoned and dry. In this video, I'm talking about dry cooking methods, so roasting, baking, and pan searing. The seasoning pertains to grilling as well, but anything dry. We're not talking about wet cooking methods, which would mean poaching, boiling, or slow cooking chicken until it falls off the bone. And yeah, we're just using boneless, skinless chicken breast. You wanna make sure the chicken breasts you're choosing are uniform in size, or at least as close as you can get, because they will cook more evenly than having one that's tiny, one that's giant, you know, it's just gonna be all over the place. That makes your life more difficult because most likely you will undercook and overcook one if you're not just sitting over the stove the whole time. Second, I'm not gonna tell you to go buy organic and free range and whatnot. I think organic prices for chicken are so inaccessible because chicken is an everyday thing. So buy whatever chicken you are comfortable with. Please do look for no antibiotics used, no hormones used, and preferably you will brine your chicken yourself. You do not want chicken that has been injected with a saline solution or a brine to make it juicy. You want to be in control of everything so you know exactly what is happening with your chicken. All right, so the first step, like I mentioned, whoa, I just touched it. Whoa, I gotta wash my hands. Raw chicken is pretty gross. There are a lot of hazards if you undercook chicken or if you handle raw chicken and don't wash everything properly. So I would say it's very important to have a plastic cutting board that you can really wash or something dishwasher safe that you can go with. Now I'm gonna line up, I'm just gonna make 4 chicken breasts today. And unfortunately for me, they're pretty much all different sizes. As you can see, this one is juicy. It's a big breast, you know? And then we have smaller ones here and here. And the goal of this next step is to make them all the same size so that they will finish around the same time. So I'm sure you've seen butchers with meat mallets, or if you've ever Googled this, like people pound them with hammers, meat mallets, wine bottles, whatever. I'm just honestly gonna use a heavy spoon today. I was gonna use a wine bottle, but I really like the wine. I don't wanna break the bottle, you know? So I'm gonna put the chicken breasts in, as many that'll fit. I'll do the 2 biggest ones first, and then I'll see if they end up being equal sizes to my smaller ones. Literally just smack it until it's all equal in size. All right, so when you go like this, it should just feel like it's all one. It all has become one. We are just so poetic on this lovely day. All of these have been pounded to the same thickness. Now, what you'll notice is this side is, I wouldn't say pretty, but it just looks normal. If you flip them over, you'll usually see like a flap, like a vein, a little bit of, I think, fat or skin or stuff that, you know, you probably wouldn't wanna eat. So we're just gonna clean them up a little bit. Something I do like to get rid of is this part of the chicken breast that kind of just pulls off. And I will save these for making chicken tenders or stir fry or anything like that. Now we're gonna bring some flavor and juiciness to our chicken breast. And this is actually very easy, so don't freak out. We're gonna brine them. And I'm not talking about a wet brine, which is submerging them in a tub of salt water. Sometimes you can add other ingredients to that liquid, but we're not doing that. We're not getting Tupperware dirty. We're not getting a bucket or a tub, no. We're going to do a dry brine, and this has absolutely changed my chicken. Basically, we're going to just coat our chicken breast in salt. It will draw out the moisture. The salt will penetrate the inside and flavor the meat internally and also create more juiciness. This is Diamond kosher salt. It's the most mild, versatile kosher salt I've ever experienced, and I highly recommend you get it. And I'm just literally gonna do my salt season. Just season from up high. You'll get an even distribution of the salt crystals. As if you do lower, you're only gonna get a little kiss there. But if you go up high, you get everywhere. So we're gonna salt it. And it should look like it just snowed on your chicken. You can go with any spice blend that you like here. Our favorite, which we ran out of, was this garlic pepper blend from McCormick. But I have this Italian seasoning, you can just use that. And I also have this really cool fryless chicken seasoning from Spiceology. We're gonna play with both. This one has a lot of texture, a lot of herby texture like thyme, oregano, and this is more powdery. And I like to bake the chicken if I use a rub, because when I put it on a hot pan, I get worried that the spices will burn. That's my personal preference, but you can also sear them in a hot pan. Italian seasoning here, really simple, and load it up. So now I'm just going to bring these to the fridge and let them sit for 30 minutes uncovered. If your cutting board doesn't fit, just move it onto a plate or a smaller cutting board, something you can wash, and we will be back. While your chicken is brining, if you're making a sauce or a vinaigrette, prep it down. You have nothing to lose. You're just gonna save yourself some time that you're already using for this recipe. So there are two ways you can totally jazz up your chicken when you're serving it that are so easy. The first is a vinaigrette. Could be a 2-ingredient balsamic and olive oil vinaigrette. Could be a 6-ingredient cilantro, garlic, lime vinaigrette, or it could be a Dijon vinaigrette. Like, you have a party with this. Have fun with it and create whatever dressing that you like and then put it on your chicken after. That's option one. Option two is just prep your ingredients for a pan sauce. So that would be some butter, maybe some stock, and some herbs. I have some wine for my pan sauce. I'm just gonna drink it, why not? That's good. Okay, so we have the 4 chicken breasts. I'm gonna remove them from the fridge and I'll show you the sweating action that took place. The chicken breasts should look glossy, like they've been kissed by morning rain. I'm gonna prepare them 2 different ways. I'm going to bake 2 of them, the one with the seasoning on it. Actually doing it in an air fryer. You could totally air fry these as well. And for the next 2, I'm going to cook them in a pan. For the baked ones, I am going to place them on a baking sheet, just like you would for your oven, but I'm just using a little mini convection oven. Instead of frying them in a pan with hot oil, I am going to brush them with oil. Very simple. I have a pastry brush for this, not necessary. I'm just using some olive oil. I'm gonna basically like rub it up. I don't want it to I should have done this on the other cutting board, honestly. I don't want it to smoke in the oven, but rub it like this. This is gonna help develop some crispiness in the oven. I'm gonna flip, repeat here. If you're baking chicken breast, it is very helpful to have them really be the same size, like as close as possible. In the pan, you have some flexibility. You can remove one before you remove the other, but in the oven, you really don't wanna be babysitting it, right? So these are pretty similar in size and I feel confident in them right here. And I'm gonna go air fry them. I'm just throwing it in. Oop. I have one of those air fryer toaster oven things and I'll probably just push air roast. 425 for 15. Let's try it. We're going to be now pan searing. This is a great way to serve dinner. If you're having dinner for 2, you wanna jazz it up with a pan sauce. This is how you should do that. So we have our chicken breast here. Moisture is the absolute enemy to everything with dry heat cooking. We wanna basically hit them on that hot pan and develop a golden brown crust. So in order to do that, we need to dry them off with a paper towel. You wanna use a pan that can retain a high heat. So if you're going nonstick, this is a nonstick up to 500 degrees. This is a caraway pan. It's really nice. Also love the Ninja anodized cookware, the Never Stick line. Cast iron skillet goes well here. Stainless steel might result in some sticking, but it'll work too. Anything works. I've got my thermometer ready. No matter how you cook your chicken, you do want to have an internal thermometer to measure the internal temperature. Okay, I was gonna go with avocado oil because it has a higher smoke point, but olive oil is also a healthy alternative. I like to generously oil, okay? We want it to be shimmering, so you see how it's thin, and when I move it, it has like that current running down the pan. That is shimmering oil, my people. I wanna wait until it's just about to be smoking to put these in. Because I want it to like be slapped with that heat and react right away. I'm gonna go this side. Beautiful, that's what we wanna hear. We want that sizzle and let it just party. I'm trying to develop golden brown bits on the pan, which are happening right here, you see? That's called fond, and we want that for our pan sauce. You see how it's cooked halfway through? Up until here, we're good. And look at that golden brown color. It's basically fried. There you go. Just gonna finish it until it hits I would say 160 because it'll carry over cook. All right, we still have quite a ways to go. Oh no, I just poked it and all that juice came out. You see that? Traditionally, this would dry the shit out of your chicken breasts if you did not brine them. But because we brined them, these are not drying out. They're staying just as juicy, and they're going to be so delicious. So one other note is once your oil starts to smoke and your chicken develops that golden brown crust on both sides, you can reduce it. You don't want to burn the fond in the pan. Like mine is starting to get darker. It's not super burnt, so we can still use it for our pan sauce, but just a tip there. This smaller one here is totally done. Look at that beautiful golden brown crust. This is just on the brink here. We'll give it another like minute. All right, look at this beauty. We're gonna let them rest now for about 4 to 5 minutes. So we're gonna deglaze that fond on the bottom of the pan, those golden brown bits, look at them. They taste like gravy. That's really what they taste like. So I'm just gonna pour some wine in. It's gonna be a splatter. So. There we go. Okay. We're gonna let that reduce a little bit. And I'm gonna grab, a spatula and just scrape all of those golden brown bits off of my pan, okay? You want that pan to be the color it started with because you want all those golden brown bits to be basically absorbed into that wine. And then we're gonna add our heat, medium low here. We want it to simmer for about 1 to 2 minutes. We want this to reduce. Something else you can add is a vegetable broth, vegetable stock. We'll also add some aromatics that we'll remove, but garlic and thyme. Just let them hang out. Some cold butter to emulsify, and we are good to go. Just gonna let that slowly melt into the sauce, and it'll get nice and thick. That's it. We baked, we air fried, we pan seared chicken breast, and now we just have to make sure the flavor is great and they are juicy. So for the first pan seared one, if I were making pan seared chicken breast, I would slice it up, serve it with salad and a vinaigrette on top. Oh, this one feels so juicy. Honestly, the baked one is where it's at in my opinion. This is a juicy one. I'm gonna eat it. So good. Oh my God. You can also just serve your chicken with a grain and a green. It's up to you. Now the pan sauce is optional. Vinaigrette is optional. The chicken should be flavorful on its own and you don't have to do these things, but that is it. That's like 1,000,001 ways to jazz up your chicken at home without actually making it 1,000,001 ways. Do this however you want to. So juicy, so flavorful, like just salt. Let me know if you try any of these methods and if they totally changed your chicken breast game at home. I hope they did, because they really changed mine, and the flavor in these chicken breasts is just miraculous and light years ahead of what it used to be when I would not follow these steps. Work smarter, not harder. Have a great day, everybody. I need to eat this now.